Hey everybody, Charlie King here with you, and the last couple of weeks we've been focusing on the winner is from the Champions Tour, and we had another Kenny Perry victory, and Kenny Perry's got a very interesting swing, back to the whole idea of unique swings, and aren't we seeing that when we really break it down? They have things in common, but very different in certain areas. And we have to watch out about fixing those things that don't need to be fixed. So I want to look at Kenny Perry first of all. Usually I'll look face on, but I'm going to look at him down the line, because I think this is where it's very interesting. So I've drawn the line kind of to frame his head. And one of the really unique things about Kenny Perry compared to other tour players is he comes up, which is very unusual. So he does mainly kind of picks it up with his arms, and very similar to Freddie Couples, look how much his shoulders turn in his transition, so he gets to the top and then he winds up getting ready to come the other way and comes back down. So he went up and kind of picked the club up, and then in his end of his backswing, beginning of his transition down, that's when you see him turn. That's when you see his head come back down, into and a little bit lower than his original box. We see the club come, and Kenny Perry draws the ball. So he hits that right to left draw. And you see very flat-footed. That's one of the characteristics of Kenny Perry. And he gets right here, and the club face is square, coming from the inside, getting ready to hit that nice little controlled draw. So you see, again, weight more than most players back on his heels. Look how much he's backed away from his original position. Look how low he's gotten. And then he hits the ball. And you see, his heel can't come off the ground. His right heel can't come off the ground because his weight is so far back on his heels. And then way into the follow through there, his heel finally comes off the ground. So again, very unique aspect of what he does. Now, what does he have in common? On plane, square face, good rhythm. Those are the things that we see that these guys have in common. So now we look at a face-on view, and so when we look at the face-on view, we're gonna, it's not a great camera angle, so the camera angle's behind or in front of him, so it makes the ball look back in his stance. So once again, you see that little raise up, so his head's now a little above that original red line. He hasn't turned much, his hips haven't turned much, and so look at how much of it happens at the top. Again, very similar. Freddie Couples is very similar to that. And then he starts down, and you see him lower to start the downswing. And you see the width, which we see in all these players. And we see his weight move over and start to turn. Lots of angle as he's coming toward impact. And that's just the stored up energy. It's not time to use it yet, not time. And now it's getting to be time. So we see the hands in front. As he comes to impact, we see him, back on his heels. We see him very flat-footed. We see his head lower than where it originally started, which is pretty normal amongst really good players. And then through it he comes. And if you look at those upper arms, I'm always talking about how the upper arms are staying in, tugged in. That whole idea that these players go down the line, really, if you watch the overall movement from here to here, it's much more circular in nature than down the line. So anyway, good to be with you again. There's Kenny Perry, another unique swing, another part of our U-swing system. You should check it out, and have a great week this week with your golf game. Thanks.